What is up, YouTube? It is your boy NMR Sports here, coming back at you with another MLB video, and today we're going to be talking about the 2022 standings, how they're starting to shape up. Each team has played at least 16 to 20 games to start the season, and there's a lot of teams off to pretty hot starts. I'm going to let you know if I'm buying that hot start or if I'm going to be selling it. Other teams are off to pretty slow starts. I will let you know if I think they are going to get better as the season progresses, or if I think this is the team that we're going to see. If they maybe were frauds coming into the year, we'll have to see. Got the Vikings hat on. The NFL Draft Day 2 is on tonight. Didn't really like what they did last night, but that's not important. We're talking baseball today. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below if you like daily MLB content, and leave a like on this video, help it reach some more baseball fans. Let's get into the video, start talking about the 2022 MLB standings. All right, let's get started off with the AL East. I'm going to try to do one team off to a hot start and one team off to a cold start from each division, letting you know if I'm buying or selling it. Let's go ahead and start with the New York Yankees. 100% I am buying this hot start that they're off to right now. So far, their team ERA has been extremely low, and their starters have been great. 2.93 ERA posted by their starting pitchers, and then the bullpen's been elite as well. Aroldis Chapman's back in his prime, it feels like. Just overall, they've been a very, very good team to start the year. And then by WRC Plus as well, they're a top 5 offensive team in baseball and possibly a top 5 pitching team in baseball. So definitely buying the hot start that the Yankees are off to, and I really think they're going to keep this pace throughout the season. I picked them to finish second in the AL East behind the Rays coming into the season. I honestly might have to change that to them winning the AL East. They look like the team to beat right now. I am buying Toronto, but I feel like we all expected Toronto to be off to a hot start, so it's not really as surprising as maybe the Yankees. I know not a lot of people were high on the Yankees like I was, but overall, I think the Yankees 100% buying their hot start. Another slow start that I'm buying actually is going to be the Boston Red Sox, off to an 8-12 start, 4 games below 500, unfortunately. I just don't like their pitching. I really don't like their pitching. Their bullpen hasn't been terrible to start the year. They're 12th in bullpen ERA. However, their starting pitching has been very, very rough. I know they're missing Chris Sale, which is a huge blow to them, but I really don't know if the rest of the guys can pick up the pace for that. I do like Nate Eovaldi. I do like Nick Pivetta a little bit. But outside of that, Michael Wacha is not who he used to be with the Cardinals. Rich Hill is getting, he's like 50 years old at this point. Overall, I just don't really like their bullpen, or I don't really like their rotation. It's about league average, and their offense has been surprisingly bad. Like, I don't know, I expected this offense to do a lot better, but they're 27th in Team WRC+. They're just not hitting the ball. They're just really not hitting the ball right now, which is so surprising because that lineup, like 1 through 9, is pretty solid. Trevor Story was a big pickup this offseason. Xander Bogaerts off to a pretty hot start. JD Martinez was on the injured list for a bit, but he's back now. Verdugo's pretty solid. Rafael Devers could be an MVP candidate. They've got a lot of good bats in that lineup. They just have not been putting good at-bats together. They have not been hitting the ball well. So definitely a little disappointed in this Red Sox team, but I did pick them to be a 4th-place team at the start of the year, so I'm pretty happy with their production at the moment. Going over to the AL Central, I wouldn't really consider any of these teams off to a hot start. However, the Twins have had a hot week. They've won their last 7 games, including sweeping 2 division rivals in the White Sox and the Tigers. I'll be honest, I don't remember if they swept the White Sox, but I know they swept the Tigers in a 4-game stretch, which is huge. And honestly, at this point, I really think this division runs through Minnesota. The Twins have had the better pitching staff to start the year. The Twins have had a rough offense at times, but it's been getting a little bit better. And with the way the White Sox are performing right now, the White Sox pitching has been letting me down. Their bullpen is not nearly as good as advertised, and their offense has been terrible. The White Sox are 24th in Team WRC Plus at 82, while the Twins are a little bit better, about league average with a 107 WRC Plus. So I'll be honest, I think the Twins are taking advantage of a weak division right now. I wouldn't really consider them one of the top teams in baseball. However, they might be able to squeak out a division win with how bad the White Sox are playing. So I think we went over the Twins and the White Sox there. I'm buying the Twins hot start, sort of, in a sense where I'm buying them as division winners at the AL Central at the moment. And I'm definitely buying the slow start for the White Sox. I think that they just aren't hitting well enough, and the bullpen is blowing games for them. I love their rotation. Maybe when they get Eloy Jimenez and Lance Lynn back, they'll be back to, the team to beat in the AL Central, but as of now, I think the Twins are the team to beat. And then moving over to the AL West, obviously I'm a big Angels fan, so I'm going to be honest, I don't want to talk about the Angels right now. The Angels are off to a very hot start. I do like it. I will be honest, I do have a little bit of a concern about their pitching staff, specifically the bullpen. I don't think it's deep enough right now. But with that being said, I'm definitely buying the hot start from the Seattle Mariners. Their pitching has been fantastic, and their offense has been way better than advertised. They are top 7 in starter ERA to start the season, and top 10 in bullpen ERA to start the season, all while being top 3 in Team WRC+. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not super surprised by the starting... Well, I'm not super surprised by the bullpen. I am extremely surprised about the starting rotation. I'm also very surprised about this offense. I really don't think... They don't have a lot of big names. Guys like J.P. Crawford are killing it. Ty France is killing it right now. Julio Rodriguez needs to pick it up a little bit, and Jared Kelenich's been doing better than expected. But overall, this team has very much impressed me. One team that has not impressed me, though, is the third-place team in the AL West. That is the Houston Astros. 1 game over 500 still. So if your floor, if I'm disappointed with you and you're still over 500, that's probably still a good sign. They're still a good baseball team. Their starters have been pretty good. Verlander looks like a Cy Young candidate once again, and probably the front runner in the AL, if I have to be honest right now. Framber Valdez has been pretty good. Lance McCullers Jr. is hurt at the moment, which is unfortunate, but I feel like they've been picking up the pace pretty well. They're also missing their closer right now, Ryan Presley, which is a big blow, and another reason they haven't been winning a lot of games. But the big problem in Houston right now is their offense. They're hitting below average with a team WRC plus of 91. If you go back to last season, I believe they led the league in team WRC plus, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, last season, the Houston Astros led the league in WRC plus with 116 to end the year. So they're definitely going to need to pick it up with the bats. I still like guys like Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker, but some of those guys are off to incredibly slow starts for the year. Specifically, Kyle Tucker, I believe he's hitting well below the Mendoza line offensively, so he's definitely got to pick it up, and I do have faith in this Houston Astros team, so I'm kind of selling their slow start. I think they'll definitely be competing to win the division, just off to a pretty slow start for the year. All right, moving on to the National League, we got the hottest team in baseball right now, the New York Mets, the only team with 14 wins. I'm absolutely buying this hot start. I think they have the deepest rotation in baseball, either them or the Giants right now. Their starters have been nothing short of dominant. 2.67 ERA to start the season in 108 innings pitched. The starters has just been phenomenal. Carlos Carrasco did get roughed up a little bit in his last start against the Cardinals, but overall, Carrasco's been great, Walker's been great, McGill's been great, Bassett's been great, Scherzer's been great, and then DeGrom is going to come back at some point this season. This is probably the team to beat in the National League, if I'm being honest right now. It's between them and the Giants. One team I am buying the slow start to, the Phillies are at 500 at the moment. I'm definitely buying that start. I think they're a 4th place team in this division, and the Braves 9-11. I'll be honest, I'm not buying that slow start whatsoever. I think the Braves are for sure going to finish at least 1st or 2nd in this division. I probably have them at 2nd right now with how good the Mets are. Moving on to the NL Central. There's really not a whole lot of shakeup. This is honestly very close to what I expected. I did have the Cardinals over the Brewers in this division, but the Brewers pitching has been as advertised. I did get off to a pretty shaky start. They got swept by the Chicago Cubs, or I think they almost got swept by the Chicago Cubs in the opening series. Yeah, this starting rotation is just nasty. Corbin Burns has been great. Woodruff's been off to a pretty slow start, which I've been a little bit surprised about. Same thing, Freddie Peralta got off to a little slower start, but he's doing a little bit better. Hauser and Lauer have actually been very, very good to start the season, so I'm actually really liking this rotation. I just don't think they have the offense to be one of the best teams in baseball. However, they are off to a very good start, including a 3-game win streak that they're currently on. And then with the NL Central, I'm honestly buying all 3 of these teams exactly where they're at. I think the Cubs are a solidly 3rd place team. The Pirates, I don't know, maybe the Reds might be worse than the Pirates. I think we all expected the Pirates to be 5th place in this division, but the Reds look really bad. 3-16 to start the year, that is disgusting. I don't know, this kind of feels like exactly where the division's going to end up, with a possibility of the Cardinals overtaking the Brewers, but they're going to need a little bit of help with starting pitching to do that. And then last but not least, the most interesting division in baseball, that would be the National League West. Now, I'm absolutely all over the San Francisco Giants. Look at this team. They are just dominant. They're just dominant. Their team's been hitting pretty well with a team WRC plus, just about at league average, just below the Minnesota Twins. But what it really comes down to, their starting pitching is phenomenal. They are just behind the Mets, in my opinion, when it comes to starting pitching depth. They have been fantastic. ERA of 3.06 at the moment, but they are missing Alex Cobb right now. Carlos Rodon, I think, was the most underrated pickup of the entire offseason. I'm definitely going to make a video talking about the offseason acquisitions and how they're doing right now. Carlos Rodon has easily been the best pickup of the offseason. Logan Webb, obviously, still a great young pitcher. Alex Wood has been pitching fantastic for them. Anthony DeSclafani's been great. Overall, that rotation, especially the top 4 there, and then when Alex Cobb gets back, the top 5 is fantastic, and I really like their bullpen. Taylor Rogers is one of the best, or is it Tyler Rogers? I think it's Tyler Rogers. Tyler Rogers is one of the best relievers in all of baseball. Camilo Doval has some of the best stuff in baseball. It hasn't really been translating yet, but I think it will later on in the year. Guys like Jose Alvarez have been fantastic. Just overall, I really like this team. And honestly, if the Angels somehow don't make the playoffs, this is my favorite team. I'm going to be following them without a doubt. This is my National League team. Some people have an American League and a National League team. This is my National League team right here. Outside of that, the Dodgers are always good. We know that. The Padres have been a little bit surprised with this hot start. I don't know if I'm buying it yet, but if their pitching staff pitches the way it has been, this team could definitely be a little sneaky, and I don't think they could win the division, but they could definitely sneak into a wild card spot. And then the Rockies did get off to a hot start. They're still a game over 500, but you can already see them plummeting back down to earth with the 4-game losing streak that they're currently on. So not the best look for the Rockies. They were off to a hot start, but like I said, I'm not buying the Rockies. Same thing with the Diamondbacks. I think they've been performing a little better than expected, even though they're 4 games below 500, just like the Red Sox. So definitely some interesting teams in this year. Let me know if there's any team that surprised you this season. I think the biggest surprises to me so far, if I had to tell you, the White Sox at under 500. But I honestly am buying that slow start. I think they're off to a very bad start. And then honestly, the biggest surprise outside of that is probably how dominant the Seattle Mariners are. The Seattle Mariners have impressed me a lot. Obviously, as an Angels fan, I always want to think they're not doing well, but they have just everything I was worried about, they have completely made me forget about. I was a little worried about Robbie Ray because he'd only done it for 1 year. Completely forgot about it. He's doing great. I was worried about some of the young pitchers like Logan Gilbert and Matt Brash. Don't even remember why I was worried about it anymore. Was worried a little bit about their bullpen. Don't even care anymore. Worried about their lineup. Completely out the window. They're fantastic, and they're very scary. This honestly feels like the battle of the West here, the Angels and the Mariners. But let's see what happens when the Astros get hot at some point this year. It'll be interesting to see. So those would be my biggest surprises of the season. Let me know what your biggest surprise of the season so far is in the standings down below in the comment section. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Y'all have a great rest of your day.